Hey everyone, welcome to Craving Something Scary, where it's all horror all the time. Now, in this video, I'm going to discuss the rumor that Kevin Williamson has been scouting for filming locations and has a specific type of setting that he's looking for in Scream 7. Now, if it ends up being true and he finds this specific type of location, it has the potential to be the scariest surroundings since the original Scream in 1996. So, what is Kevin rumored to be looking for? Well, stay put, because I will share that with you right now. Let's go!
Hey, this is Lee Waddell, the original Ghostface from Wes Craven's Scream, and you are watching and tuned into Craving Something Scary.
So Callum Murray at GameRant.com reported this rumor in his article, and you can actually read it on the website. I put a link to it in the description of this video, so be sure and check it out. But after reading it, it really made me want to make a video to explore it further, even though it is a rumor, and getting a discussion started with all of you about this. So again, this is a rumor. Keep it with a grain of salt, as I always tell you. I will never tell you something is a fact until it is. So this is a rumor, and just remember that, and that's the spirit of this video, is we're just talking about a rumor, theorizing would we like it or not. That's the whole reason I wanted to do it, all right? So, having said that, my disclaimers, here's what he put in his article. Quote, "There was a rumor circulating that Kevin Williamson's Scream 7 was scouting for a remote, wooded area to shoot the movie in," end quote. Now, regarding the rumor itself, the article goes on to say, the original Scream movie was terrifying because Sidney and her friends were being hunted down by Ghostface in the middle of nowhere at Stu's house in the Woodsboro countryside. The lake house and wooded area in Kevin Williamson's Sick would be a perfect setting for Scream 7, with the lack of contact with civilization making it difficult for Sidney and her family to call for help. If true, this would add to the tension in Scream 7, and it would recreate the uncomfortable vibe in Williamson's last movie, Sick. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and share my thoughts about the article and about the idea of this type of setting. So let's backtrack a little bit to Scream 6. So when we read the script of Scream 6 that was leaked and dropped, we saw that originally in the shrine at the end, Detective Bailey was going to make a comment that basically when they're done there, this is just paraphrasing, basically when they're done there, they're going to Seattle to take care of Sidney and her family. In other words, to kill them. So ever since then, I've been thinking about more of a suburb of Seattle, like we've seen in the past, where you've got, houses, neighborhoods, all that good stuff. And to think about this in terms of the movie Sick, which I thoroughly enjoyed. I've seen it multiple times. I even had the privilege of interviewing the director of Sick, John Hyams, as well as the stunt coordinator, Eliza Coleman. So if you guys have not checked those interviews out, go to my interviews playlist and watch those and get a lot of insight into the movie Sick. But I really enjoy it. I've seen it again multiple times. And the setting for Sick is great. It really is. Just as the article said, they're out in the middle of nowhere being stalked by the killer. So when I think about Sidney and Mark and the kids, kind of like Scream 3, remember? She was out in the middle of nowhere in Scream 3. She had the fence, the alarmed fence. She had the out there in the middle of the countryside somewhere, completely off the grid almost. And this, if they went this direction, and they did do an isolated location, it would, in a way, think about it, would mirror Scream 3. Well, the last two movies mirrored 1 and 2 in many aspects. This would kind of mirror Scream 3, putting Sidney back out in an isolated situation, and rightfully so. My gosh. So there's a lot of potential in my mind for this to be a, I don't know, I would almost say this could potentially be the scariest and the most intense filled Scream movie since the first film. I really do. If they do this, and maybe that's the third act, right? So, depending how you write it, you could go a million ways. But I'm almost thinking the third act takes place at her house and property, and their house and property rather, out in the country, just as we saw, like he said here with Stu's house in 1. That was the third act. I could see that, and I think it could be very, very intense, especially if throughout the movie there's cat and mouse going on, and again, I have a lot of ideas. I'll save those for another time. But I think personally, guys, talking about a setting, if the rumor's true that that's what Kevin Williamson's looking for, I support it. I think it's a good move. I kind of like the idea of getting out of a neighborhood, getting out of a city or town, and actually just off the grid, man. I mean, she's wanting not to be found. She's wanting to raise her family and not be bothered, but Ghostface always finds a way. So that's what I'm thinking. I love the article. Go check it out. I think it's a good move. If the rumor's true, we'll just have to wait and see. But that's what I'm hoping for to see from Sidney's house. And I don't mind if there's scenes in quote Seattle, wherever they end up filming at, and like they did in filming in Montreal, making it New York. Whatever the case is, they could have scenes there with some new cast members, so you could kind of have that dual story running here if you wanted to. But we'll have to see what they do. I mean, it's so unpredictable right now, and the information is so tight and sealed. We just don't know. But I think very soon, guys, hang in there. I believe that sometime here in July, we're going to start to get our first couple of announcements of cast. I think they'll tinker out, dropping them one here, wait a few days, wait a week, drop another. And by the time we get into the end of August, I think we'll all know the full cast list. And then get ready, as theories will be bountiful. But until then, guys, I'm going to leave it here for now. But I want to know what you think about this. I always enjoy reading your posts on my comment section, and use the voice I'm giving you. You have a voice on this channel. You can be heard and acknowledged. So leave your comments. That's the only way it can be done, though. So I want to know what you think about the idea of Scream 7 being filmed at an isolated location for Sidney's house, much like we saw in the movie Sick. I want to know your thoughts and ideas and any theories you may have about that. Or do you want to see them back in the city again, like in 6? So I wanted to see what you guys are thinking, get a pulse of what you want to see, and we'll discuss it. So start leaving your comments below right now so we can do it together. Now, that's all for this update, but I'll be back soon with more Scream 7 and other horror movie content. So don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, join my Patreon for exclusive perks, all new Patreon. Check it out, link on the channel here. And until next time, this is Craven Something Scary, where it's all horror all the time. Thanks for watching.